Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Can I just check that you can all hear me all right? Because again, I've got my dodgy setup. So I'm just really hoping that the sound is okay. This is so nice to have you all here. How are you all doing? And how was your Christmas? If you were celebrating the holidays, how did it go? I'll be honest, mine was hectic. Mine was really, really hectic. Yeah, but then the last few days, I've just been kind of relaxing, which is what I needed. Where are you guys all from? Every week I love to know where you guys are tuning in from. Oh, that's good. I'm glad that you can hear me all right. Um, so where are you guys all coming from? I'm in the UK, as you probably know. It's been raining all day, so cold and grey. But we're in December. Hello, Sean. Hello, Welsh Woody. So you're from Wales, Ireland. We've got so many people here. Yes. So yeah, how was everyone's holidays from North London? Hello, yes, my neck of the woods, South Dakota, Ireland as well, Portsmouth, USA. This is so wonderful. Do you know what? I just love it. Like you're literally from all over the world, from Boston, from the US. This is just so amazing. Thank you so much obviously, for making the time to be here. Like, I know that you all have very, very busy lives, and from Australia as well, and Bronxville, New York. It's amazing. This is just amazing. So, like I'm so grateful that, you guys can be here with us. Um, if you guys could press the like button, that would also be amazing. Southampton, Maryland, Wales, Scotland, Polish in Scotland. Hello. Atlanta. This is great. So yes, so I can see that a lot of you are from the US. This is just amazing. This is just amazing. So guys, you are tuned in because today we're going to be talking about healing the body after narcissistic abuse. All right. So we know that narcissistic abuse, trauma has huge effects on our body. But we can heal it. All right. It doesn't mean that this has to be our future going forward. Our body is resilient. It's delicate, but it's resilient. And we can regenerate from abuse, from trauma. And I'm going to talk about the ways that we can do this through food, through the way that we look after ourselves, the way that we think about ourselves. So there's physical things that you can do, but also there's mental and emotional things that you can do too. Oh, Sean, so the moderator, I've given him the week off. So he's out with his friends today. So he is not, I don't know, he might join us later. I don't know, but yes, I gave him the week off as it's Christmas. So I'm hoping we're not going to get any any nasty comments. But that being said, I'll try my best to block. I'll try and do the moderating and the talking. I'll try. So yeah, but he'll be back next week. So today we're talking about biomechanics, biochemistry, body mechanics. All of this, I'm going to talk about all of this in this live. But yes, so also, I don't know if I've said it already. Could you please like? So we'll get the likes, we'll get the live out there. So that would be amazing. Right. So our body after narcissistic abuse. Obviously, we've gone through a lot of stress. We've gone through a lot of anxiety, depression, PTSD. All of this has dire effects on our body. Our body, even though it tries really hard to cope, and you see what it does when we're experiencing this trauma, when we're in this scenario, our body goes from fight or flight, okay? Fight or flight. So when our body is in that mode, so to speak, it doesn't function the way that it should. So our body, or we don't perceive things the way that we should, because our body's constantly thinking that we're in danger. And if you think about it, well, we are in danger because something is happening untoward. So our body is getting prepared to be able to protect us, to be able to cope with what is happening. So our body isn't working the way it should. And so this causes huge strain on our organs. So I know that I've mentioned this before, and I know I've mentioned this quite a bit, in our lives, that our bodies become really strained, and sometimes they can become inflamed, which means that when they become inflamed, they hold on to, or they retain water. But also they become enlarged. So sometimes we might think that, we've put on weight, when actually we haven't. It's our body that has become inflamed. And so we're thinking, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? Why do I look like this? Why do I feel like this? I don't know if any of you had actually noticed that, had you put on weight or thought that you had put on weight after, experiencing trauma or narcissistic abuse. I know, I'm going to reveal something. I did. I felt really large. I felt like, not that I was fat, but just like I felt really swollen. And I remember I was going to the gym. I was doing the workouts like I normally do, because I do enjoy going to the gym. And I was hardly like eating any. I thought maybe I'm eating the wrong foods, maybe because sometimes I can have a flare up like to gluten or whatever. But, I was thinking, like, what's going on here? Like, why do I look bigger? Like, this is just strange. I've never looked like this in my life. But what had happened is I realized after that actually what it was, it's the strain. It's the strain that sorry, I need to move my leg. It's the strain that our organs are put under. Because if you think about it, all right, we've got a lot of cortisol and adrenaline, which the fight or flight or freeze mode that our body produces. So when we've got this cocktail of, cortisol and adrenaline, like running through our body, because remember, it goes into our bloodstream, and our blood is transported all the way around our body. All right. So when it's got this mixed in our system, this is where everything becomes inflamed. And so, for example, for me, I quickly realized that this is what was going on. This is what was happening. And so, it does two things. Either we lose the weight, or either we don't retain the weight because we can't eat. We're stressed, we're in anxiety mode, or our body becomes inflamed. And so you see, this has effects, huge effects, but they don't need to be long lasting, because there's certain things that you can do that will help you. All right. When we experience trauma in our body, all right, our body sort of freezes. It holds on to that trauma because it's not, like I said, it's not functioning at the optimum level. So it freezes us. For example, like when children experience trauma and their mind is still forming, it stops the neural pathways from forming correctly. And when it does do that, it delays their emotional development. And this is what happened, for example, with narcissistic individuals. It delayed their emotional development. So this is what happens. So trauma has huge, huge effects on our body. But what we have to learn to do is to let go of that. And that really is the kind of the crux of it all. To affirm this, type this in the chat: I will release trauma. The body releases trauma. So it's about letting go, not holding on to this. Okay. Another thing that I really wanted to mention here in terms of like biomechanics and biochemistry, I know I'm going all scientific here. I did some reading about this. And I really came across this information and I thought, oh my God, I've got to say it in the live. Like, this is going to be amazing. Like, people need to hear this. Yes, healing. Yes, you see, and I'm going to talk about IBS and how it inflames our stomach and everything, because this is all just linked. But the thing that I really wanted to talk about is how trauma is stored within our body. But before I do, if those of you who have joined, please do give me a like. Please like the video, because this will help to get this information out there to other people who may have not found, this live, maybe not have known that this live is happening. So that would be wonderful if we could just get that information out there. Thank you. So what I wanted to talk about is where our body holds the trauma, particularly, is that even a word? Particularly, there we go, particularly in our back. So have you noticed that, for example, when you're feeling stressed or when you are feeling overwhelmed or overworked, you get knots in your back and you're kind of like you're hunched over? That's because there's too much. Have you ever heard like the saying, oh, that's get the weight off my back, or that's the weight lifted off my back? That's it. It's the weight lifted off my back or off my shoulders, because that's where the energy gets stored, in our back, particularly in our spine. So what we need to look at is that the trauma kind of congregates into our spine. And do you know how important our spine is? This is actually the building block of our body, if you really think about it. And where this will be affected is in our spine, where our spine meets the bottom part of our skull. And that is where hormone creation and secretion basically happens. So it's really important that our spine is kept healthy. And the way that we do that is we sit straight, we stand tall, we stand straight, we hold our head up. That, my friends, is very healing in itself, because think about it. What you're doing is you're elongating your spine. We think that, like when we look at older people and, they're hunched over, or, they get lumps in their neck, or, they can't stand straight. We think, okay, so as we get older, it's a normal part of aging that we hunch over, or, we shrink in height. But actually, it's not. And it's really important for those of us who are kind of like 30 plus that we keep doing this, that we keep, thinking about our posture, because this will really help. Not only like if we sit tall, or sit straight, stand tall, this will help with our emotions as well. Think about it, like when you're walking in the street and you're holding yourself up, your shoulders are back and you're standing tall. Like, think about how much confidence that actually gives you. Think about how you feel. Think about how others perceive you. Like when you stand tall and straight, think about how you feel. It gives you a positive feeling, because actually that is what it's meant to do. When you're sitting or standing straight, it gives you that posture. It elongates your spine. So it's optimizing the energy within your body. Do you know that if you sit straight or stand straight, your spine will naturally, accumulate into that posture. So you'll naturally feel taller. Okay, like for example, when people are giving, talks, or like politicians, they stand straight, they stand tall, because that is what gives you confidence. That's what gives you, the energy, the positivity, and it looks like you have something to say, or you are important. This helps with confidence, actually. So it's optimizing your energy. Okay, that's what this is really important. It's about better alignment as well. And I'm talking from like a physical perspective. Do you know that 80% of communication in our body happens from the spine into the brain? So this is why our spine is very, very important. Do you know that trauma is stored within our tissues, stored within our spine? Okay. And so it's really important that we take note of this. You know, our spine communicates directly with our subconscious. All right. And this is really important as well, that we have a healthy spine. We sit straight. We stand tall. This is changing the patterns of how, we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. Posture is everything. Think about the energy that you're going to be emanating when you stand tall. So in terms of releasing that trauma that may be trapped within your shoulders, within your back, exercise is really, really important. So maybe doing certain exercises like yoga or Pilates, for example, weightlifting, weight training. This is really, really important as well, because this really helps to give, your body that strength. Because I know that not all of you can do that, but what I'm saying is little by little. When we feel in pain or when we feel downtrodden, we naturally have a posture where we're sinking into this posture. That is our natural go-to way of just trying to cope or deal with pain, with emotional pain. Sorry, I've got to change my positioning. Physical pain or emotional pain, we're kind of like, we feel like we're hunched over. So what we need to do is we need to elongate our spine. That's what we need to do. And this is how others see us, how others perceive us. It's about vitality, energy, and creation. Also, we become very creative when we feel within our power. Okay? So I know that not all of us can take this in, like, sit tall or stand straight because of our back. But this is about, not going back into that default posture, where we sit like that. I know that when I know like a lot of us have jobs where we sit in front of the computer for long amounts of time, or when you're on your mobile, think about how you're sitting. Because like, I know, listen, I do this as well. I know that when I'm on my phone, I'm like, hunched over, and I spend a lot of time obviously on my phone because of the work that I do, or, when I'm editing the videos and things like that, I'm on the computer. But what is really important is to remember how our posture is, how we walk. We've got to stand straight, shoulders back. That's how we've got to do this, guys. This is really important because the trauma does get stored within our back. Okay. And, we are taught, all right, how to sit, how to stand, how to talk, how to behave. This all starts at school. Like, I know that, for example, when I was at school, we used to sit on the floor with our legs crossed, and hunched over, because we weren't taught to sit straight. We're not shown this. And this is why I'm saying to all of you that it's really important that you look after your bodies. And absolutely, you're right. 99%. Everyone read The Body Keeps the Score. It's about releasing trauma. You're absolutely right. And talking of books, I've got another book. Do you know what? I lent my copy out. It's by Van der Kolk to my friend, and she never gave the book back. And now I just haven't seen her for quite some time. But this is the other book, The Body Remembers, by Babette Rothschild. Okay, this is another great book as well. And the other book I got was this one, Emotional Intelligence. I know this is not, but this is by, oh gosh, Daniel Goleman. This is like an old cover. So this looks different on Amazon, if that's where you're going to get it from. But this is really important. I know that book is not like what we were talking about, emotional intelligence, but I just thought I'd bring it up here because this is something that is great for all of us, to kind of access this information and learn a little bit more about ourselves. But our body does keep the score. There is something called like muscle memory. All right. And this is the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Our body does remember because the trauma is stored in our tissues. And what happens is when we access something that we have, or we experience a memory or an experience that we have had in the past, our brain just goes back into the past, retrieves that memory, and then we behave the way that we have done previously. Now, dependent on when and how, or how old we were when we experienced this situation that was happening in front of us, could be as children. So at that time, our understanding is a little bit limited because we as children don't understand things the way that we do as adults. So if we had experienced, say, for example, this traumatic event that had happened, and then we're met with it again in our adulthood, we will retrieve the memory that we had experienced as a child and how we dealt with it, okay? And sometimes what we do is we access that. So we're dealing with it from kind of like a childlike perspective because we've never experienced it previously. It's just that we are experiencing now in our adulthood, all right? So this is what you've got to remember. Like, you will feel fear because it's something that you had experienced previously, something that didn't go the way that it was supposed to, or it didn't happen in a particular way. But what we have to do is override that, because what our body and our mind is doing is just retrieving information that we had kind of experienced or lived through when we were younger. But now that we're older, we can look at this differently and we can reframe it. You know, a lot of the work that I do with my clients, for example, with trauma, is reframing, is looking at the same situation, you know, like through a different perspective. Because that's what it really is about. It's about understanding that, you know, we can see things in a completely different light. Like, you know, memories only have power if we allow them to. All right. Of course we have memories. Of course we do. I'm not saying that we don't. And some are really good. Some are not so good. But like what I said, you know, in my stories over on Instagram, or I know that I've done some videos over on YouTube, you know, the past only has power if you allow it. All right. So this really is about moving forward from this, not accessing or not reliving the past. The trauma does get stored in our tissues, but the way that we release it is through movement. Okay, through movement. This is how we also release the dopamine and the cortisol and the adrenaline that is stored within our body. And it's causing us to feel fear. So it's all about movement. Things like, I don't know, jogging on the spot, doing star jumps, going to the gym, doing weights, Pilates, yoga. All of those things will really help to release trauma from your body. Because the body keeps it. The body keeps it stuck. It does that because it's holding on to dear life. And that's why our body does do that. You can't keep thinking small. You've got to override this. And Red Eye Jedi, you're absolutely right. Our DNA holds memory from our ancestors too. It does. I do believe that. I do think it is true. So it's about moving past that. You've got to really look at, you know, what is yours? What are your beliefs? What is it that, you know, you believe about yourself? Where is it that you want to be? Because our body does hold trauma. It does hold those memories, you know? And so we've got to override this. And the way that we do that is through movement. This is what's so important. What we do is through movement, through exercise, through, you know, sitting or standing tall, we open up restoration. And it's these simple techniques that you can do that will open your body up, okay, and make you stronger, okay? It's not only your mind, but it's your physical body as well that needs this. Our body is kind of like our spacesuit here on Earth. And if those of you who are not happy with it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't feel good in your own skin. Maybe you might have put weight on. Maybe it's your body's not working the way that it has been. Maybe you've experienced some sort of illness. It's up to each and every one of us to look after our body, to look after ourselves. This is self-care. This is self-love. This is what it's about. Look, I know that these things that you have experienced are absolutely awful, and I get it. I get it. It's horrible experiencing this. But we do have a way forward. It doesn't mean that we have to be stuck on medication for the rest of our lives. We have a choice, and we can make this happen. We can heal our body, from this toxicity that we have gone through. For example, I want to get onto food in a moment, but this is rebuilding our core, our core strength, our posture. All of this will affect the way that we relate to ourselves, how others relate to ourselves. Because think about it, like if you're feeling good in yourself, if you're feeling positive, then that energy is going to emanate outwards. So what you've got to do is you've got to channel that energy in a different way. I know that it's feeling stuck, and maybe a lot of you feel stuck right now because of everything that has happened. And I know that this time of year, you're probably like recounting, thinking, what has happened, how you have felt, what's been going on. But it's like what I said in the previous live. You have to now put that to the past, put that to one side. And now let's think about you. What do you want? How are you going to heal yourself? Because this is a choice. Honestly, I know that could be quite hard hitting, but honestly, guys, this is a choice. And it's your choice whether you want to move forward or whether you want to stay in this place. It isn't, I know it probably feels like I'm stuck, I can't do it, I just can't, I feel so upset, I feel like I can't. But I'm here to tell you that you can. Because you know what? A lot of you in this community have been able to move forward, have been able to do this. I know that, through my experiences, I've also been able to move forward from this. Absolutely. Epsom salt baths, yoga, thermal pool, gym. Thank you, Healing Path. This is all of the things that you are going to be doing. These are practical things that you will do that will really help you, to move forward from these experiences. We have the capacity to move forward, to heal. Okay, there's certain things that I understand that are not going to heal or are going to be quite difficult. But there's a lot of things that you can do for you. You've got to think about it. It's like building blocks. When you've got to do just one little thing, and then from that one little thing becomes a big thing. It's not only just, the mental therapies or, counseling and therapy that is going to help heal you. You've also got to think about your body as well. This is also going to work alongside the mind therapies, heart therapies, but also the body therapies as well. These are the things that are going to help you to feel good. When you're feeling good on the outside, you're going to be feeling good on the inside. And when you're feeling good on the inside, you're going to feel good on the outside. So this is really about detoxifying your body with the right practices. This is about oxygenating your blood, your organs, detoxifying your body from all of this that has happened. For so long, for so many years, you've been enduring this pain, this trauma, this anxiety, this depression, this PTSD. And when you do nothing about it, when you remain stagnant, then nothing happens. Guys, nothing will happen. Nothing will change. So yes, that's right, Midnight Blue. It's more of a holistic approach. It's a whole approach. It's not just the mind on its own separately. It's not just the body on its own separately. It's you as a whole. It's not just one thing separately. And I think that's what I really want to make very clear here. We are a whole system. The mind, the body, and our heart, and also the spiritual element to this as well. Don't do this separately. Do it all together as a collective, okay? So guys, if you're enjoying this live so far, please could you press the like button? I don't have the moderator to keep kind of saying it, so I'm sorry that I have to, well, he types it, but I'm sorry that I'm kind of keep saying it. But the next bit that I'm going to go on to is food, because food is really important. Hi, Graziano. Yes, I can say hello. So we're going to talk about the aspect of food. Okay. So before I get into it, how would you say that your food is, like your nutrition? Are you eating nutritious food? Are you eating fast food a bit too much? Are you eating sugary foods? Are you eating green leafy foods? How are, how are you experiencing food? I would say to you, eat as natural as possible. All right? Because that food is the nearest to source. All right? When we eat fast, look, I sometimes am a sucker, like for McDonald's. So I do. I haven't had McDonald's for about 2 months now. But sometimes when I'm driving on the motorway and you see that McDonald's side or the Burger King and you think, oh, yeah, I could so have a burger right now. And I love my burgers. Not going to lie, I do love my burgers. But it's about really thinking about, okay, so what kind of meat am I going to be eating? I might feel great in that moment, but how am I going to feel later? So I see that from the comments, a lot of you are eating really good foods like ramen noodles with turmeric. Amazing. Absolutely. So cod liver oil, yes, the capsule multivitamin, absolutely. Hydrax predator. Thank you so much. Hold on, let me just see if I can write it, if I can say this. Hypertrax predator. I want to say a huge thank you and for the help you provided me through your videos. I relapsed to my ex-narc and went on a second spin on the well-known cycle again in a 68-month span. Now in the 3rd month of no contact and fighting PTSD, getting better. Thank you again. Thank you so much. And I'm really glad. I'm so happy that you have been able to go no contact. Like, I know this isn't easy, and I'm so happy to know that, like that my work has basically helped you. But thank you so much. So no contact and fighting PTSD. So I really hope that this live gives you more information, like in terms of how your body is coping with, or how to cope with PTSD. But you know what? Look, we all make that mistake. We all make the mistake of going back because we think it's going to give us clarity. We think we're going to give us closure, and then maybe they have changed. But we all learn, we all know. And it's really hard to walk away from something, that we have become in a way used to, but also feeling like we need this person. Remember, we've also got trauma bonds to these people. But look, it's never too late. And what is good is that now you have gone no contact, and this is the most important. So hats off to you. Well done. And keep going forward. Don't go back. Like, if you can help it, don't go back, because nothing is going to change. They don't change. They are who they are. And they are great at doing what they do by manipulating us and making us believe that they do change and that they are going to be different. So, yes. Chicken soup, absolutely. Chicken soup is amazing. Like all of the collagen that's in that, and bone marrow. Like these are the things that are really, really important. And I think I mentioned this in my last live, that actually my acupuncturist, she said to me, like sometimes when I experience, anxiety and what have you, she says, collagen, chicken soup or chicken broth, that's got a lot of like bone marrow in it. This is really, really good because it's got all of those nutrients that are really helpful for us. So food, the greens, all right, the greens have that I can't say whatever it's called. I think you know what I mean. Sorry, I'm not a nutritionist, but I know a little bit about it. But it's the green chlorophyll that's within the plant that really, really helps us. It's the antioxidants that it's got and the nutrients that it's got within it. Like if we're juicing it, amazing. Like spinach, kale, these are all got these beautiful vitamins and nutrients that our body needs, that our body gets depleted of, you know, when we're experiencing trauma. Because think about it, when your body is producing cortisol, adrenaline, this is acid, this is acidic in nature. These green vegetables and things that we are putting back into our body, okay, that is all alkaline. Thank you very much, Treasure. Phytochlorophyll. Thank you so much, Treasure Made of Wood. Thank you. These are the things that, this is the gold, right? This is the food. This is the gold. This is the medicine. This is the medicine that is going to help your body regenerate. And do you know what? I talk about this quite a lot in the book. I've got a whole section on food, because I really believe that food is so important. Sean, go and have a mince pie. Go and have one with cream. We're all allowed. We're all allowed these pleasures. This food is the medicine. And this is what your body is needing. And if you can do it every day, that's great. And if not, then every other day or once a week. But as long as you're putting those nutrients in there, you know, like things like turmeric or ginger, these are anti-inflammatory. Garlic is really good. Like try to incorporate garlic into your food. This is so important. Ginger, the ginger power shots, you know, like apple, juicing some apple and ginger. This is going to help to revitalize, you know, your system. And especially now, you know, if you are in a colder country, this is going to help with your immune system as well. This is really important. I remember when I was in Greece, not so long ago, actually 3 weeks ago, and I would get coffee every morning. Their coffees are amazing. And one thing that I noticed, that what they had is they had basically a orange juicer. So every time that you would, you know, go for a coffee, or whenever I would go for a coffee, I'd so have like an orange juice. So, and it was just, they tasted amazing. So every time you have a coffee, you have some orange juice. That's vitamin C. And it's just available everywhere. In the UK, for those of you in the UK, it's not so much, it's not really out there. It's when I was there, it's like they juice it fresh for you. So you drink it straight away. So also oranges, really important. Anything that is as natural as possible, you know, like I think I did a post on this, you know, foods that are really good for our brain. Blueberries, believe it or not, little blueberries. They are wonderful because, again, antioxidants that help to cleanse our blood. Other good brain foods is walnuts. They've got that fatty, you know, that oily, I don't know what it is, but it's that oil within the walnuts that is really, really good. That really helps to, I think it's with the amino acids within our brain. I think it's vitamin K as well. That is so good. Magnesium, which is really good for us. And also something else that is very good is the cod liver oil that I know some of you have mentioned already. But also it's called, it's this cold pressed coconut oil. This is really good. So I try to take a spoonful of that every day. Most of the time I do forget. So I've left it out for me. So I don't forget. Almonds, yes, this is also very good. Almonds, vitamin E, really good for our skin, to help with hair. Castor, yes, red eye Jedi for help with hair, castor oil and rosemary oil. I didn't know that. So this is really good. So there's certain things that our body will really need that will help with our skin. Oily fish such as salmon, Scotty. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes, salmon is amazing. Mackerel, anchovies. Try and incorporate this as much as possible, because this is such important food that is going to help regenerate our system, regenerate our body. Sean says, I love nuts and seeds, but they mess around with my hormones. Oh, no. I hope that there's another way that you can have them, maybe in oil or something like that. So maybe not so much the, not so much with the food, like the seeds in themselves. Yeah, pizza's great, Leanne. I know. I love a good pizza too. Coconut oil, great after a shower for your skin. Thank you, Gwen. Yes, you see, these are things that you need to be doing, which is so important for your self-care, for your routine. This is the important stuff. Not spending time thinking about them or thinking about how and why. This is what you need to be spending your time on healing yourself, on healing you to get back to being you even better than before. Okay? The way that we eat also affects the way that hormones are produced in our body. So if we're eating the right foods, then we're producing the right hormones to keep us healthy. You can even reverse aging in this way by eating the right foods, by looking after your body, doing the right exercises, posture. This is all really important. You reverse the signs of aging, and this is scientifically proven. Ernest, yes, that's what it was. MCT oil from unrefined coconut oil. Thank you, Ernest Taylor. That was it. That was it. That's what I've got. MCT oil. Guys, get this. It's amazing stuff. This is the stuff that regenerates your brain. So this gives you the optimal power to think, to feel good. You know, if you're thinking well, you're feeling good. You know, this is all about emotional health as well. Food affects everything. To the point even, I want to mention sleep. Because if we're not eating the right foods, how are we going to sleep? If you're not eating enough, you know, carbohydrates, protein, those sorts of things, you can't sleep. Because your body is not behaving at its optimal level. And you're absolutely right. Treasure made of wood. It's the cell replication, optimization. You are right. Italian food is beautiful, Graziano. It's such lovely food. But eating the right foods also. Biotin also good for the hair. Yeah, you see, all of these things are just amazing. And this is the things that we need to be eating. We need to be, you know, inducing this. Like, for example, for sleep, I take magnesium every other night. This really helps this helps me to sleep. Regenerative sleep. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're talking about here. That's what we're looking at here, is to regenerate through our sleep, okay? We want to restore our body, because if we don't have enough sleep, think about how then our cognitive levels are, our cognitive functioning, the way that we make decisions, you know, our emotional health. How do we feel after that? Like, what's going on for us? You know that we don't feel good. We just feel awful because we don't feel ourselves. We're moody. We want to go back to sleep, but we can't. We want our appetite is affected. This is important to think about these things, because I know that when we're feeling stressed and when we've got a lot of trauma within our body, sometimes we don't feel like eating. But this is where soup, for example, comes in really handy. You know, like chicken soup, or, you know, like chicken broth. This is important to feed our body. Like, maybe you can't eat solid foods because your stomach is feeling in knots. But this is important to move your body, to move that trauma around, to move that trauma that's stored within ourselves, move it around our body. It is really important that you think about these things, because if you're not going to do it for you, no one is going to do it for you. No one is going to help you in this way. You have to do this for you. If you're spending time overthinking, really worrying, think about what is happening for you emotionally, and think about then the effect that has on your body. It's not making you feel good, is it? It takes you away from living your life. It's furthering, you know, that toxicity that's already within your body. It's producing more of it. And we have to realize that this is not going to help us. This is not good. This is what is going to ruin us in the end. It cuts our life short if we don't eat well, if we don't sleep well. And if we're not looking after ourselves well. It can't help you to live your life, does it? So I'm just seeing that there is a troll on here. I'm trying to delete it. It doesn't help you to make you feel good, does it? And you can't live your life. So it's that abuse, that trauma is furthering. Okay, it's still going on. You're still feeling it, even though that person isn't in front of you anymore. So take the power back and think to yourself, what can I do for me? Like, what can I do that is going to make me feel good today? Do you need a nap? Do you need to have that time out? As I've mentioned this quite a lot on here, that I am the queen of naps. I do have naps during the day. Not every day, mind you, because, it just wouldn't work. I wouldn't get any work done. But look, sometimes I do have that power nap of like 10, 15, maybe 30 minutes. Sometimes I have been known to sleep for longer. But, all of these things really help to regenerate. Like, obviously, you guys are at work. I know that's not always possible. And I know for me, when I'm doing videos or when I'm working with clients, it really tires my energy out. Like, I mean, cognitively, I get tired. So because I have to think about all the time what I'm saying. So for me, this is really important. I have to make sure that I'm eating the right foods, that I have cooked for myself. And, I would love to say that I do meal prep, but that would just be a lie, because I don't. And I just, from day to day, I can't actually decide what it is that I want to eat. I sometimes, when I go grocery shopping and I think, what do I want to eat today? And I very much get stimulated by what I see. Sometimes I do feel like a pizza would be amazing. And I do, like, sometimes I do have the pizza. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm eating, like green leafy vegetables and it's, like protein all the time. But I try to make the smart choice for food as much as possible, so I don't eat that kind, like I don't eat the junk every single day, because I know that this is going to have effects for me. And for example, I'm someone that I do have sometimes like gluten flare-ups, like IBS. That is something that I experience sometimes when I drink too much coffee, like my stomach will be swollen. And so I know that a lot of you who have experienced trauma and stress and anxiety, my IBS is from my anxiety that I still do sometimes, but not as much, that I experience, so I do suffer from IBS. So I've got to be really careful. And gluten is something that irritates it, so I try and eat that kind of food as much as possible, like eating less beige foods and more, natural, healthy foods. So, for example, I replace potatoes with rice, for example. There's this beautiful recipe that I actually recently discovered. It's how Persian people make rice. I don't know whether you guys know, but it's so lovely. It's kind of like a cake. So it's crispy on the top because it's got beautiful like buttery, salty mix, and it's kind of like you cut it like a cake. I love it. So anyway, and I love sticky rice as well. So yes, I do have to be careful on kind of what I'm eating, because if I don't feel good, then it also, that zaps my energy and I can't be my optimal self, like when I come onto YouTube or when I'm doing stories or, when I'm doing shorts or, like TikTok, Instagram, all of those things. This job requires me to be okay. I can't get ill either. Otherwise, there's no content. There will be for a day or two, but then after that, it's not going to happen. So all of these things is really important. And the reason why I'm saying this and telling you guys what I do is because I know that this has worked for me, and I know that this can work for you. And oh, Midnight Blue, yes, Persian. It's Persian, isn't it? Yes, and that rice is just, I could eat that all day long. It's so lovely. So, these things have worked for me. And this is why I want to say to you guys, because I think that it can help you. Like, maybe not all of it, you have to adapt it so it works for you. But this is what will help you to keep you strong and optimal, like optimized, like your optimized being. I want you to know that just because you've gone through this, just because, like you have experienced this trauma and this abuse and this anxiety, it doesn't mean that it's got to be your future going forward. Like, you've got a choice. You've got a choice on how, on how you want to go forward. Because there is a way forward from this, and it doesn't mean that you've got to be stuck in this trauma and reliving this. Like, the past is the past. It's gone. It's a distant memory. It happened, and I know that it happened. Thank you very much, DECEIT. Food, mood. I do no sugar, no alcohol, only organic. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, cut down on your sugar. Cut down on the alcohol, because alcohol is the poisonous juice that we are all led to believe is the wonderful stuff, like we should drink it. Look, I'm not saying that I don't drink alcohol, but just don't go over the top, and just don't drink it as much or as often. Everything in moderation. Certain things, not everything, certain things. Only organic. And you know what? If we could grow our own food, that would also be amazing. So any of you that do grow your own foods, amazing. Like, I hope to aspire to that one day, where I can buy a property, that I can have land where I can grow my own food. Because food is really important, and so is sleep. Yes, brilliant, Sean. It is horrible stuff. It is. It's awful. You feel so disgusting the next day. Absolutely. Alcohol is a toxin. It's not great. It's not great stuff for us. But look, I'm not saying I'm saying for you to give it up, but like, just drink less and less. It is really hard to leave it behind, Paddy H, but again, it's like what I'm saying. You guys have got a choice. You've got a choice on how you choose to deal with this, how you choose to go forward. Are you going to let them? You're going to allow them to still be in your thoughts? It is about leaving them behind. It is about making that conscious choice. This is really, really important. Mike P, will karma catch up to these narcissists? 100%. 100%. It always does. Karma does catch up to people, and it does. Believe me. Karma is real. Just someone else Isabel, you said the same thing. Yeah, karma is real. It is something that does happen to me. If someone treats you badly, if someone treats you awful, know that karma is coming for them. It all works on energy exchange. It all works on energy. So think about it as well. Like, our body is energy. We are energetic beings. So if you are giving yourselves the best chance possible, in terms of healing, like giving yourself eating the right food, sleeping well, doing exercise, helping your body, then do you know what? Your energy that you're going to be emanating is going to feel different from other people, because let's face it, a lot of people don't do these practices. So just because someone else is not doing it, or just because you are doing it and people are thinking, oh, you're a bit weird for doing that, like, why are you doing this? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You keep on your journey. It doesn't matter what other people are doing, because a lot of people don't do this. Remember what we have been conditioned to think and do. Remember, no one teaches us these things. So this is why we go out there to try and work this out, get this information. This is what is important, is you concentrate on what you're doing, all right? And you go forward. Yes, it is. There's a lot of triggers. There's a lot of things that happen, but it's again, it's you got to concentrate and go down your path. This is what's important, guys. You have to heal. It's nobody else's responsibility but your own. It's you healing. It's about you moving forward. You doing these certain practices that are going to help you live an optimized life. Yes, that's right. There's so many beautiful people here in pain. Let's lean on each other. Do you know what? This is such an amazing community. I'm really glad, Disarine, that you've brought this up. That, I do look at the comments and I do look at what you guys are saying. Awful to us. Paddy H, I'll answer I'll answer your question in a minute. This is such a great community that we have here, and absolutely, and I'm like reading the comments and trying to kind of as well like talk about this and reading what you are writing, and I just think it's so beautiful how all of you like are helping one another, helping each other. This is what is so amazing. So Patty H, getting them out of our heads, I know it is hard, but do you know what I'm going to say to you is this? And Lady T, you will heal. You will. We try to understand these people. We try to understand how and why this trauma has been caused. But what I will say to you is this. You're not going to be able to understand it because these people don't behave in a way that we would. These people don't do the same things that we do. These people behave differently and are different. So logic is we're not going to be able to understand it. These are hurt people who go out to hurt others, mostly intentionally because they need to get their needs met. And you're then trying to understand, why would someone do this? Why would someone intentionally want to hurt you? But that's only to meet their needs. And so this is what you have to understand, is that you're not going to be able to understand it. Don't try to understand it. You have to let go of this and know that these people are hurt. They've been traumatized, but this is their way of expressing that trauma and that pain. It's sad what's happened to them. They just repeat what they have experienced in childhood. So that, my friends, that is really what's going on here. Instead, think about you. Think about the practices that you can be doing. And I really wanted to bring out alternative, holistic practices. So things like Reiki, like meditation, yoga. Again, this is going to help you move through that trauma, move through, the things that you are experiencing. It's going to help you feel so much better. I remember many years ago when I went to this yoga class, and this is how powerful yoga is. I don't do it all the time because it's just not, at the moment, it's not something that I'm doing. I'm doing more kind of weights, that sort of thing. I'm really, really into that. So I remember I went to this yoga class in the centre of London. And Desiree, thank you so much. Thank you, Rachel. In Boston, thank you. I'm really grateful for you too. So thank you very, very much. So I went to this yoga class, yes, in central London. This is probably about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And I remember that I cried all the way through and I didn't understand it. I was thinking, what is going on here? Why am I crying? I remember laying on the floor trying to do all these poses. But this was the stuck trauma, the anxiety that was in my body. And do you know what? It was just moving through me. And I remember this was so profound. So it was at that moment actually that I realized how important movement is for our body and to an embodiment. Okay. I realized how important it is and how our body stores the trauma. I was actually doing my master's in clinical psychology at that time. So we were learning about, you know, like the body storing trauma, that sort of thing. It was just before my doctorate. And this was profound for me. This was just so important to learn that actually, you know, our body does store the trauma, but it also releases it as well. So we've got to practice releasing it. So meditation is another amazing thing that I do practice probably on a weekly basis, not on a daily basis, probably like more of a weekly basis. I would like to do more of it, but this is amazing. Like to do, for example, with visualization work, you know, like with helping you to get to places or to situations or places where you want to get to in your life. This is what is so important. This is what is going to help you, because this will strengthen your mind, your alignment, your concentration. This will make your mind strong. So like if you're overthinking or overindulging, you know, in the rumination, know that meditation is something that will help you. Sometimes it might help to start off with listening to kind of meditative music or guided meditation that will help to bring, you know, your thoughts back to where they need to be, like so they're not, you know, your mind's not wandering. Because our mind does do that, especially, you know, if we're in cognitive dissonance, if we're ruminating. So our mind is constantly racing with the thoughts and things like that. So what is really important is for you to bring it back into alignment. And meditation can provide that. Music is very powerful as well. Sometimes it's important, you know, just to listen to your favorite song and make you feel good. That is also really good. Sometimes dancing will really help. Like this will help to move the trauma through your body. So if you are someone that enjoys listening to music like I am, I listen to music regularly. And I enjoy music, all sorts of different types of music. So I know that music is very healing as well. But also meditative music and also guided meditation. This always helps. Sometimes if I can't fall asleep, you know what I listen to? I listen to rain. I know that there's like albums or there's apps that you can download, and I just listen to white noise, rain. I don't know what it is about rain and thunderstorms that actually helps me to fall asleep. Yes, Midnight Blue, laughter is also really, really good. Yes. I can't watch comedies. I don't know what it is. I can't watch comedies to make me laugh on TV because I sometimes just don't find them funny. But sometimes do you know what? Oh my gosh, do you know what makes me laugh is, you know, I don't know if any of you have got TikTok, but sometimes the videos on TikTok, oh my God, these people are actually just so funny. Like the videos just absolutely make me laugh. Desiree says the narc doesn't pay us to rent space in our head. Yes, that is exactly true. Thank you so much for bringing this up. Thank you for this. You are so right. They don't. So why are we thinking about them? Like, seriously, we need to just get them out of our head. And you've got to do these practices to help you get them out of your head, because what you're doing is you're just recalling these memories. You're thinking about, you know, these people who are so toxic. They're so deadly. And if you think about it, if you are thinking about them, all right, what you're doing is you're still allowing that trauma, you're still allowing that anxiety to still get to you. And this is no good, because even though they're still not in your life, they're still affecting you. And this is what I mean. You have a choice. You have a choice in how you want to go forward. You know, are you going to allow this person to rent space in your head? Exactly like Desiree said. What is the point? You know who they are, which is why you have gone searching for answers, which is why you have gone on YouTube, which is why you are here on the live. You found me through YouTube because I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse, right? So you know who they are. You know what they do. That is the closure. That is the answer that you need. You know who they are. But this is now about you rising up, okay, and leveling up. Yes, it is difficult. Yes, it's hard. But how long are you going to say that narrative to yourself? Because I'm not saying that it's an excuse, but how long are you going to keep saying this narrative to yourself and saying, oh, it's hard. I can't do this. Of course you can do this. Of course you can. You deserve this. Okay, this is about you and your life. Gwyn, thank you so much. It's very common, beautiful to cry during yoga. I had the same reaction walking in the woods on the beach. Oh, bless you. Thank you for validating that experience for me. Yes, I don't know what it was. I couldn't stop crying. And I think it's the energy. I think it was the energy. And absolutely walking on the beach or, or going to the woods. I also like going to the woods. Unfortunately, I don't live near a beach. It's very sad because I do love the beach. I love the sound of water. But this, again, is really important. This is the white noise that really, really helps us to, to get through this, to actually, heal. Because this is our choice. We want to heal. We don't want to keep, having these people in our lives and keeping stuck. Why? And thinking why? And could I have done this? Or could I have said this? Or could I have done this differently? The answer is no. No. This relationship or this situation was always going to come to an end. Because these people are not in this relationship for the long run. They're not in this for longevity. Even though they kind of say to you, yes, we're going to be together forever. And this is all going to be, amazing forever. But this doesn't happen. Okay, this isn't true. Paula O'Brien, thank you very much. Thank you for your kindness. Guys, thank you for all your donations. Do you know what? I really, really from the bottom of my heart appreciate it. I'm trying to save up to get this new camera, and this is all helping, and to help to give back to all of you, because I don't know if any of you know, I'm now full-time on YouTube and I'm like really devoted to making these videos for you guys. I'm doing the mentorship program as well, which is starting on the 2nd of January, which is next Tuesday, actually this time next week. So if any of you are wanting to join, the mentorship, these, please see the description box below because I've got all of that information on there. But literally, this is for people who want to level up. Like this is the kind of information that I'm going to be talking more in depth. And this is what I'm writing the book about as well. This is, about you moving forward to new levels, to a different space. Okay, I'm going to help you. I'm going to hold your hand and I'm going to help you get there. But there's going to be so much. There's going to be like a monthly Zoom. I might, just an idea that I might even take the lives onto the mentorship, but we'll see. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I will, because this will keep happening. There's going to be like weekly worksheets, meditations, because I know that really helps, and also there's going to be a supportive chat that with, like you guys can talk about things, like in a safe space, because I know that this is a public forum. Sometimes we can't talk about, like what we're thinking about because we never know who's going to read it after, So this is really important. This is to help you guys. So for your donations, for your support, like I am so grateful. Like you don't understand. It still blows my mind, honestly. Since I started this channel, a while back, and I just never thought that it would get to this place. And I'm just blown away, but also humbled by this. And I am devoted to making this content to help you guys. So thank you. I know I went into like a bit of a spiel there, but yes, thank you so much. So yes, it's about leveling up, guys. This is about, like going to the next level, not staying stuck, not staying small. You got to remember that, our programming is to keep us in victim mode. That's what we're taught, that we are not powerful, that we are not these immense beings. But I'm here to tell you that you are. We are so different to what we have been taught, to what has been told to us. We can achieve and do anything that we put our mind to. Do you know that? We are not small. The energy, the way that we think, this is so powerful. But if we have been conditioned to think that we need medication to help, that we need outside to help us. Thank you so much, DECEIT. We, inside of us, are already so powerful. We already have the resources within us to regenerate, to move forward. Look, like things that I've been talking about in this live, our body can regenerate. We can move through this. We can get through this. Our mind, our mind really helps, you know, to move forward. We don't need to stay stuck. We already have these resources within us. Look how powerful we actually are. As beings, look how powerful we actually are. And then you've had someone in your life that has taken your energy, that's taken your power, telling you no, telling you this, telling you that. Enough. Enough. You know? That's not what this is about. You know, this is about you knowing that actually you can get through this. You don't need, like I said, you don't need outside. You can do this yourself. You can feel more powerful. Christopher Dollis, I won't be able to get through this. Most people will. I will not. Why are you saying this? Why? This is not true. Each and every one of us has the power to do this. But this is your belief. And so what you're doing is you're staying small. Oh, so it looks like the moderator is back, guys. The moderator is back. Hope you had a nice time with your friends. So I didn't think that he was, but there we go. So thank you. So look, you know what? It's important for each and every one of you to believe that actually you are worth it, that actually, you know what, you can move through this. Because to be honest with you, the more that you think like that, the more that you will stay in that mindset. And that is the thing. You can move through it. It doesn't mean that that is, what's the word, that is how you're going to be. You know, like you can create this reality for you. You can create, you know, your life. But thinking that you can't get through something, this is what you are feeding yourself. You're feeding yourself this narrative. You're thinking that you can't do something, that you can't be something when actually you can. So you've got to get out of this prison. You've got to get out of this. You have to believe that actually you are not what people have said. You are not how you have been conditioned to think. You are not a product of your past. You know, you can move forward from this because you are powerful. Look at the things that we have talked about in this live. Look at the things that we had discussed. This is your power. This is what I'm saying to you. These are the things and these are the techniques that, you know, like I have done. And I know this is like what I was saying to you before. Like if I don't do these practices, then I can't be or work at my optimal level. And yes, do you know what? Sometimes I can't be bothered. Sometimes I don't want to do it because I feel lazy or I feel like I don't want to do it. But can you imagine if I just didn't come on for a week and what would happen? I wouldn't have any content. I wouldn't be able to talk with you guys. I wouldn't be able to do. So this is what I mean. You've got to tell yourself that you can. You can't keep thinking that you can't or you don't want to and stay in that mindset. Because do you know what? Do you know what, guys? That is victim mentality. That's what it is. You're staying a victim to your past. And all of these things that we talk about, like your body, yes, of course, yes, it does have these effects. And yes, it does put a strain on you. But look, it's like what I've talked about, you know, in the last few lives. Like if you're going to stay in victim mentality, think about what it's doing. So your body is still producing the cortisol and the adrenaline that is inflaming your organs. These are the choices. These are the things that you are picking to have your body inflamed. All right? That's right, Chris. Push forward. Thank you, Michael. You know, you're still choosing to stay in that mentality that you are a victim. You're not a victim. You are a victor. You will move, through this and forward. Of course, she promised me she would never leave me in the situation and did. She lied. They all lie. This is what they do. People like this, okay, make us believe that they are your soulmate. They all do. And they all tell us that there is going to be a future. And we fall so hard. We fall so hard in love with these people that we believe them. You know, every single one of us on this life has done that. Honestly, ask anyone, you know, and we literally need to see the truth here. You need to see the truth of who these people are. Because these people are liars. These people are here. These people are manipulators. These people want to get their needs met. And that's why they do this. All right. And so you've got to understand that if you keep believing this, if you keep believing that you are a victim, you're going to stay in that victim mentality, and you're never going to be able to move forward from this, because you're just going to stay stuck and brainwashed and thinking why, trying to figure out why. And it's like what I said earlier in the live, like, stop trying to figure out why this person has done this. So what? They have. And you know, you have to regenerate yourself from this. They are midnight blue. They are master manipulators, only because they want to get their needs met, and they just want to make you feel something. They want to make you feel like you're not good enough, and so that they can feel better. These are people who take pleasure in your pain. I did a video all about this. Go and watch it. Go and watch it. You know, and that's right, a faker taker. You know, this is what they do. You can stay in that victim mentality. You can, sorry, I was just reading the comments. They're just going so fast. Yeah, you can stay in this victim mentality, but actually, do you know, your body is going to take the toll, okay? This book, what I talked about earlier, this one. The body remembers your trauma, okay? And it will. Ellery Wiggles, thank you so much. Wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And thank you so much, Anushka, for all the help that you've given me. No one can keep us down. Yes, you're very welcome, Ellery. No one can keep us down. We are not victims, okay? We have to reclaim ourselves, because if you don't, you keep yourselves small, you keep yourselves in victim mentality, you are literally killing yourself, okay? Again, this is why I am saying you have to make a promise to yourself. You have to promise yourself that you are not going to stay. Sorry, I'm really uncomfortable again. That you're not going to stay in this mentality, because if you do, then you remain in this toxicity. This person isn't even in your life, but you are staying in this toxicity. This is what I'm saying. You know, your thought processes are going to be off. You're going to be thinking negative all the time. You know, you're not going to heal. You're going to stay in pain. And when you stay in pain, it is uncomfortable. And so, Christoph Dollis, you can get through this, and you will get through this. This is how you've got to think. You've got to fake it until you make it. You've got to believe that actually you are worth this, and you've got to fight for your life, because that's actually what we are doing here. We are fighting for our lives. But I tell you something, when you get to the other side, you will live a life like no other. Okay, amazing, JJ, brilliant. The body keeps the score. Yes, Van der Kolk. Can I just say that it is a bit of tough reading, because I remember I had to read that when I was studying my doctorate in psychology. My God, that was tough reading. So that's all I'm going to say. Just, I found it tough. You might enjoy it. Desireen, thank you so much. Give yourself the love you gave away. Yes, self-love and care. That's true. That is exactly it. Give yourself the love that you gave away, because you know what? You are worth it. You're more worth it than anybody else. Helping others help ourselves. Yes, this is all very, very true. So think about what we've talked about in this live, the body work, okay? The body work. Think about how, you relate to yourself, relate to your body, relate to who you are. I know that a lot of us probably don't really like our bodies. And again, this is something that is conditioned, you know, in society, that we don't like our bodies because this is not perfect. That's not who's perfect? And what isn't, what even is that ideal of perfection? All right. I know with people like the Kardashians with their kind of very trendy bodies with their butts and their boobs and their skinny waist, I know that that figure is very much on trend at the moment. But that's not everyone's figure. That isn't mine. So I'm not going to get a fake bum, you know, because we've got to celebrate who we are, you know. And so this is what I'm trying to say, is that our bodies are all different shapes and sizes. And so it's about accepting who we are. It's accepting that actually, you know, we are beautiful in our own way. Sorry. But this is about changing the patterns of the way that we think, the way that we relate to ourselves, the way that we talk to ourselves as well. Neuro-linguistic programming. Remember, our ears, our brain is always listening to the way that we speak to ourselves. If something goes wrong or something happens, what do you say to yourself? Do you swear at yourself? Do you call yourself a horrible name? Or do you just reassure yourself and say, do you know what? Do you know what, Anushka? It's okay. Don't worry that you spilt the milk on the floor this morning. Which I did, by the way. I was a bit annoyed about that, but it's okay. Or, you know, like, or when you drop your keys down the drain, which I think I did the other day, actually. I was rushing. I was going somewhere. Again, see, this is what I mean. I was rushing all before Christmas and I dropped my house keys as I was going to the car, and I think I dropped them down the drain. But it's okay. I'll just get some new ones cut. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just about how you relate to yourself. What do you say? So instead of calling yourself names or saying derogatory things, like, you know, when you look at yourself in the mirror, do you say, oh, you know, like my bum looks big in this, or my belly's not as flat, or, you know, whatever it is. Don't say those things to yourself, because that is how, you know, you are talking to yourself. That's how you are relating to yourself. So how you relate to yourself is how you... what's the word? How you relate to yourself is how you then act towards yourself, and then how others see you behave towards yourself is then how others treat you. And this is all about biomechanics. Okay, it's the whole system that we talked about. It's the whole system. It's the body, it's the mind, you know, it's the emotional part, it's the spiritual part, all of those things. Thank you. Thank you, Desiree. We need to start a fund for a comfy chair. Thank you. That's so sweet of you. I do need to get a chair. I've been looking at chairs. I have been looking at chairs. It's just, you know, like when you sit in one position and I can't, yeah, it's one of them. It's every life. So I do apologize with my, my fidgeting. And my hair today is annoying me as well. Sorry. I do fidget. Sorry. So, yeah, it's about aligning ourselves, okay, and getting ourselves out of that victim mode, all right? Alignment, okay, and positivity. You know, like, this is also a way that you've been conditioned, you know, to relate to yourself and to think about yourself, is the way that somebody, or the way that you have been spoken to in the past. And this is why this keeps coming up, you know, for you. When somebody has been a bit derogatory or a bit harsh with you, you know, telling you off, this is then how you remember that, because you embody that as a child, all right? And this is then how you relate to yourself as you get older, as you become an adult, because this is never corrected. So you then think of yourselves as how that person has said it. But remember, these are all opinions. These are all opinions of another person. Doesn't mean that they are true. But remember, everyone is entitled to their opinions, but it doesn't mean that it's all true. Thank you for all the love hearts. Their bodies are all fake. The most important body part is the heart. Yes, we are all love. We are all heart. This is like one of the most important organs in our body, and we have to look after that. Remember, if we're doing exercise, we are raising our heartbeat. Do you know, today I went to the gym this morning, and I went, this is the second day on the trot. I did cardio today, and I went spinning. I love going spinning. I love like bike riding. And today was just tough, like 2 days in a row. I was like so out of breath, because remember, I haven't been to the gym for quite some time because I was away, and then Christmas happened, and then I was a bit lazy, so I haven't really done anything for 2 months. But God, I am so happy to be back. But look, this is what I'm saying. Like, when you're raising your heartbeat, I felt so good after that. Very hungry, but when your heart is working, I felt so full of energy, which I recorded so much more content. I've got a video that I recorded for Friday. Yeah. So, you know, like it helps with creativity. It gets those juices flowing, gets your blood flowing, which is also very important. Your heart is really important. And eating garlic as well is really helpful for the heart. I know you've got a smelly breath after, but garlic is very good for you. So think about how, yes, it was spinning. It was a 45-minute class, and then I did weights after. So a bit dead after, needed to sleep. Anyway, this is my sleeping. Yes, my naps. I do have my naps. This is it. This is about looking after yourselves, which is so important. Whichever way that is, whichever way that you do look after yourself, whichever way that you find that is important for you, that's what you got to do, what works. But remember, it's all about how you speak to yourself, how you relate to yourself. Remember, if you're being negative towards yourself and you're talking negatively, this is just going to have an impact on your mood and the way that you feel. All right. Remember, biomechanics. This is exactly what it's about. It's biomechanics. We are a whole, not just the mind and the body and the heart. It's all separate. It's not. It's all together. And you're right, Rican. It's like bullying. You're bullying yourself. Remember, neuro-linguistic programming. It's about how you speak to yourself. It's what you say. So what if you dropped your keys down the drain? I mean, that is just like what kids would do. It's like a kid's mistake. It's like very immature. But I did it. I've lost another set of keys, so I have to go and get them cut. But look, there's always a way out of a situation. Doesn't mean that, you know, I can't fix it. Of course I can fix it. Or I spilt the milk. I can fix it. And that's what I mean. It's like, be kinder to yourselves. Just because someone in your past, you know, like a parent or a caregiver had spoken to you in a way that was mean and you know, you felt upset, doesn't mean that you've got to speak to yourself like that. You know, you can self-parent, which is also important. Self-parenting. You be that parent that you didn't have, or you be that person that you wish that you had got that love and that kindness from. Dave, Randall says, hello, I've been very upset the last few days, crying heavily. 5 months, no contact with ex-narcissist. Any tips? I have no intention to call her, but still love them, wondering if they are okay. Okay, Dave, I'm so sorry. And probably because it is the holidays that you're feeling like this as well, with my ex-narc and her daughter. Okay, right, so you're obviously like missing her. This is your first Christmas after, you know, obviously the split. Do you know, I've done a few lives on this, but what I will say to you is this, and I'll tie it into what I've been talking about. I understand that your heart is broken and that you wish that maybe things were different. But Dave, this relationship was never going to last. It was always going to end. It was always going to happen. It didn't matter whether you said this or you said that or did something different. This was always going to happen. She was never in for it for the long run. All right. She was in it to get what she could from you. And she, you know, like she got her needs met. Like she wanted your attention. She wanted, you know, your kindness, your compassion, your patience, your acceptance. And she got that. Okay. And she got that. So in a way, she would have kept that going. So for whatever reason that you guys have broken up, you saw the wood from the trees, you saw the truth, and you have got no contact because obviously she must have done something that was really awful. She will be back. She will be back at some point, not at the moment, because she's maybe getting her needs met elsewhere. But you've got to think of it this way. This person wanted something from you. She wasn't in it for love, all right? Even though she probably said that she really loved you, and she probably made out that this relationship was going to last forever. But it's not. She lied to you. And this wasn't going to be something that was ever going to last. So one thing that you have to realize is that she lied, and it's really difficult. It's really hard to get over. And you've done the right thing by going no contact, because this gives you the brain space. And it sounds to me like what you're going through is a trauma. But this trauma bond, you can get past. This trauma bond, you can get past. But you've got to make the decision whether you want this toxicity back in your life. If you go back, what's going to change? Has she done the work? Has she gone to therapy? Has she been healing? Has she been working on herself? What's going to change? You're going to have the same results. She'll come back and you'll be together. You know, like the first few weeks are going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing because she's going to love bomb you. She's going to tell you lies, and it will be amazing. And you'll just get sucked into that fantasy world, the illusion, the magic show. But after that, it's going to be the same situation, the same thing. So do you want this moment of like being relieved, of like pleasure, you know, not feel the pain, but then afterwards, after a few weeks, maybe a month or two, you're going to feel the biggest pain. So the fact that you're missing her right now, what actually are you missing? The pain that she caused, the lies that she's told you, the way that she's making you feel right now. It's a choice, all right? And you have to decide whether you want to stay in this toxicity, because think about what it's doing to your body. You've got cortisol and adrenaline that is running through your body. And this is what's keeping you stuck, because you're still thinking that actually maybe this could have been different, or maybe something else would have happened. But I'm here to tell you it wouldn't. This was always going to happen. And so think about what the trauma, okay, is doing to your body, and where you're storing it in your body. What are you going to do for you that is going to help you move through this? Because this is your choice, okay? Sitting there, missing her, thinking about what could have changed, why this has happened. You know she's a narcissist. You know she's toxic. It's why you are here. This is why you've gone onto YouTube looking at different videos on narcissism. You've got the closure. You've got the answers that you need. And you can move through this. But if you stay in this mentality, and I know it's painful, I know obviously crying really does help to release trauma, which I think is a good thing. But if you stay in this mentality thinking that you're not going to get through this, think about the effects that it's having on you emotionally, psychologically, and physically. When we miss someone, okay, we stay in this kind of mindset that we can't have them. Actually, the question should be, do you even want them? All right, think about what they have actually done. Think about, you know, how they have made you feel. Do they make you feel good? Or do they treat you like you were insignificant? Probably. Actually, of course they did. Of course they did. Like, you didn't matter. Like, you know, you're replaceable. That's right, Isabel. Thank you. Trauma bonds are painful. But once you understand them, once you know what they are and what you're going through, it does get better through time. But these are the things that you need to do. So what we have talked about on this live, you know, these are the things that you should do for you. This is about regenerating, you know, your whole system. Okay? It's your whole body, your mind, and your heart, your emotions. This is about changing the patterns of how we see ourselves, how we have been taught to believe how we are meant to be, or how we should see ourselves. This is about changing that conditioning, changing, like moving through this. Because the way that we are taught, to relate to ourselves or see ourselves, you know, we are taught to think that we are not important, that we are invisible, actually. Invisible, but we're not. We are not any of those things. We are taught to stay in pain, and we are taught to, you know, that we can't do things for ourselves, that we need the external, we need outside sources to be able to help us. But actually, you know what? We have got the power within each and every one of us to be able to move through this. And yes, you know, like some of us have to start from scratch, okay? But what you're doing is you're building solid foundations, and you're building on top of those foundations. That's what you're doing. And it is painful, but nothing lasts forever, not even pain. Not even the narcissistic relationship, even though they told you that it will, but it doesn't. And you have to see it for what it really is, and see it for what it's doing to your body. If you choose to stay in this victim mentality, you choose to stay in this pain, then you're going to stay in that pain. Then you're not going to be able to heal it. And it's our choice. It is a choice at the end of the day. Jack Sparrow, it's nice to see that you are here on the live. Thank you for coming. I hope that you're doing really well. I do. And I'm glad that you don't miss her. You are never going to get back with her. This is good. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased to hear that. Scotty, I was triangulated so many times. Yeah, of course they do. They always bring a third person in. Of course they do, to make you feel jealous. Because when you're feeling jealous, you are kept small. And then you're easily manipulated. Because you're easier to control. And that's why they do it. This too shall pass. Another saying to remember. It's true. Thank you. Thank you, Midnight Blue. It will pass. It will. Nothing stays forever. Not even pain. And you will move through it. What questions? Gwyn says, why do therapists not have training in cluster B personality disorders? What questions for a new therapist? Gwyn, that's a really good question. You know what? Because not much information is known about it. I remember when I was studying in my doctorate, we did this whole module on personality disorders. And I tell you something, it's very different what you learn in the textbook to what actually happens in real life. And so a lot of therapists and a lot of psychologists don't really understand what cluster B personality disorders are. And to be honest, they're not really diagnosed either. They're masked by something else. And what they fail to realize is that a lot of the time when you've got narcissists that come to therapy or whatever, like couples therapy, they don't realize when they are being manipulated, when they are being love bombed. And so they don't see through this. But it's a good question, like, why aren't therapists trained in this? I think, do you know what I think? And this is just my opinion. I think that not much is known about it. That's what I think. I think not many people know about cluster B, although you would think that they do, because there is a plethora of videos over on YouTube and a lot of people that are talking about narcissism, psychopathy and sociopathy. But and it's strange because all of them exist in that same kind of category: psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, and now recently added borderline. And all they have in common, they've got lots in common, but one major thing that they have in common is that these people have no empathy. They cannot feel what you do. That is the big issue, is that they cannot feel, and then they cannot feel. they are so far removed from their emotions that they do not feel. And that's why they do what they do, because they don't care. What they care about is that they get their needs met, that they're getting this information from you, this validation from you. Actually, there was something that I was reading not so long ago. I think it was last week. You know, as you do, and because I belong to obviously the BPS, which is the British Psychological Society, you get these magazines that get sent through once a month, and so we look at like different research or therapy that is happening. And there was one actually where they talked about the attachment theory, attachment styles. And they were saying particularly why we get into these toxic relationships is because of this attachment that we have to this person. And I was thinking, are they actually talking about trauma bonds here? Like, you know, the Stockholm syndrome, like what's going on? And what they said is, when we get into these types of relationships, it's as though, you know, like when the narcissist is love bombing us at the beginning and they are mirroring us and they're idealizing us, they put us on a pedestal, they become obsessed with us, right? And they make us believe that this person is your soulmate and that you're going to have the most amazing life together and relationship together and it's going to last forever. Of course they do. They all do that. It's that one formula that they all use. Anyway, so in this article, they were saying that the narcissist attaches onto us, okay, and it reminds us, or it meets our needs. Like, we want someone to validate us, we want someone to make us feel good, and so it's kind of like we then feel obliged to do the same, which is why then we kind of like fall for them or fall in love with them, and we feel like we are bonded to them, almost like we feel like we need to protect them or we need to reciprocate the kindness in some way, right? So it's this kind of exchange that happens. This is all subconscious, all right? This is all subconscious. Not like we willingly go into these relationships and think, yeah, I'm going to be like your parent. But we feel like we owe them in some way. We feel like we have to be kind to them in some way, which is the beginnings of this trauma bond. And I thought to myself, so this really looks at like parental attachments that we have had in our childhood. And I don't know. What do you think, guys? Is this, you know, like this two-way process that we kind of get with them or want to be with them because we want to be kind of like their parents and help them and be kind to them and protect them and be everything that, you know, that they didn't have or we didn't have. So this is why this bond kind of deepens. I don't know. This is a theory. And remember, all theories are kind of, they're not always true. They're not always right. So it's just something that I had read and it stopped me in my tracks. And I'm thinking, could this be true? Like, could this, I don't know, because narcissists can't attach in a healthy way. Like, they have issues. They've got the attachment disorder that I talk about a lot. So whether they attach in that way, who knows? I don't know. Like, if you guys think that, yeah, it could be true or it's not, I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but it's a way that they relate, isn't it? It does. And I'm just looking at it. It seems to me like maybe there is some truth in it, that it is kind of like a childhood attachment or a childhood wound, that we try to be that kind of that parent or be that person that gives this unconditional love rather than conditional love. So you want to practice this unconditional love, but look, you know, like, even though you did show them all that love, it doesn't help with anything, does it? It doesn't help. We want a mother's love and they want a mother's love, and then we get knocked off the pedestal and then grieving a mother's love. Gwyn, do you know what? That's so true. And they did talk about, you know, like that mother's unconditional love that perhaps maybe we didn't get, you know, as children, and they certainly did either as children. So it's all to do with that parental roles and what they represented, you know, as children for them, but also for us. I don't know. maybe there's some truth in it, but I can't link it because it's not something that has been, it's still in progress, so it's just something that they were writing about. But yeah, like, it makes me think, that is it like all psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists and borderlines that actually, isn't it funny that we all experience the same set of symptoms or the same things with that cluster group? And they all do it, don't they? They all make us believe that, we're so amazing at the beginning. They like become obsessed with us. They put us on the pedestal and we're just so wonderful. And, with soulmates and this is going to last forever. But yeah, it's all a bunch of lies. And I think we have to really look at that and see it for what it is and forgive ourselves for believing those blasted lies. They're good liars. They are good liars. They are brilliant liars. And they know how to fool you. But you've got to remember, these people have been doing this since childhood. So that's why they do what they do. And it's not been done intentionally to you. It's just something that they do to everybody. So with that being said, those of you that are going through the trauma bond and who are missing them and who are wanting them, just think about that. They are good liars. This is what they have done all of their lives. They're not going to change. And even though you showed them this unconditional love, you gave them everything. That's what happens. Rika says, the manipulative power, I think I'm going to get acting classes. Okay. Are you familiar with Dr. Vaknin's mothership theory? If so, what do you think about it? Eric Smith. Oh, okay. I don't know about that. And maybe I need to read up about it. Maybe this is quite similar to what this was being said in that Cyclical magazine. I don't know. Maybe. I'll have a look, but I'll let you know, Eric. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, so think about it. Like, if you are in this trauma bond and you are thinking, oh, I miss them, I want them, you are still staying stuck in that victim mentality, and you are still, maybe this is part of the attachment that you have had with the parents. I don't know. Like, maybe it's something that's keeping you stuck. But remember what this is doing and where your body is storing that trauma. And you're right, Paddy, they do the same thing over and over again, all the time. It's not just you. It's not just you that they're doing it to. They do it to everybody. It's the same thing over and over. Isabel, I really like that. You are each a mother to each other and a child to each other. I like that. That's a really lovely kind of saying. Thank you for bringing that up. It is hard to let go, but you have to make that choice, Isabel. You have to really see it for what it is. And it's toxic. That our body stores the toxicity. It holds on to it. But it's about releasing it. It's about giving ourselves the fighting chance to move through this. Because look, what's the alternative? You're going to keep doing what you've always done and get the same results? Oh no, and expect different results? You're going to get the same results. It's the same thing. Every time you go back, every time you believe their lies, you're going to be in the same position all the time. So again, it's like that choice. Are you going to make that choice to stop and not believe them? And see your own worth, see your own potential, not stay stuck in victim mentality? Because honestly, they will keep coming back. And every time you're going to say, yes, yes, yes. And you know what? And you're going to have the most amazing week or two. Okay, let's stretch it to 2 weeks. And then what happens after? You guys know the story, because it all is the same one that happens in that cycle. The value, devalue, and then the discard. And then we go round and round in this cycle. They're not going to change because they don't need to change. They get their needs met. And believe me, if they're doing it to you, they're going to be doing it to other people as well. It's not just you that they've got other people on the side. All right, it's not just you. They need to have other people. They are people collectors because their very survival depends on it. They need to have people. They eat them for breakfast. That's what they do. They eat people for breakfast. I'm joking, guys. They don't. But it's just an analogy, like they need people. So what choice are you going to make? And do you know what? Look, it's the new year that's coming up. Have you made your affirmations for the new year? No, resolutions, not affirmations, resolutions for the new year. You know, like, what are you going to leave behind in 2022? And what are you going to take forward into 2023? Okay, it's literally like a few days away. What are you going to bring forward to another year? Because for a lot of you, this has been quite a difficult year. It's been quite a life-changing year for a lot of you. But it's also been a good year for a lot of you. You've reflected and seen how strong you actually are and what you have gone through and where you are. And so really, the ending of this year, you need to really look at you and think about where you have got to in your life and how you are going to elevate in the next part of your life. Please know that also I've got the mentorship that's coming as well. So if you want more information on that, on how to elevate your life, please see the description box below. You can do this. Each and every one of you can do this. You don't have to be a product of your past just because these people were in your life. Like, who are they anyway? Like, really? Do you know what? You guys will get to this point where you just think, who the F were they? You would think like, wow, I can't believe that I spent so much time worrying about them, thinking about them. You know, you will get to this point and you'll think, yeah, this is me. I am regenerated. I feel so good. But you know what? You have to start by making that choice. You have to choose you. Because these people keep poisoning you. They keep taking from you. And how much are you going to let them take? The rest of your life? You are worth so much more. You are worth so much more than just this experience, than just this person. You know, this is about you making your life. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. You can achieve anything. You can achieve the life of your dreams. It is possible. Oh, you remembered? Yes, Bali. We will so be doing Bali. Mark my words, 1 year, we are going to do Bali. New Year's, Christmas and New Year's in Bali. This will just be the most amazing, amazing retreat. I cannot wait. It will happen. You remembered. So we can move forward. Jimmy Black, you can move on without her. You so can. But you've got to make that choice. And like I said, you've got to choose yourself. And I love that, Paula, 2023 narc free. That is brilliant. Please write that in the comments, all of you, 2023 narc free. Okay, because this is exactly it. I love it. And it rhymes as well. This is brilliant. Paula O'Brien, thank you so much. Free yourself from toxicity. You don't have to keep ingesting that poison. You know, even when you go back or, you know, when you're still communicating with them, you're still diluting the poison. All right. That's what you need to remember. You're still diluting the poison. So you need to, yes, fundraising for group trip, comfortable chair. Oh my gosh, we've got a lot to save for. But you know what? Doesn't matter. It will all come. And this is, thank you very much. Keep commenting. 2023 narc free. 2023 narc free. This is it. Don't drink the poison, guys. Don't even drink the diluted poison. These people are not going to change. These people are going to stay who they are. And that is it. That is what you guys need to know. And I know that's really hard. I know it's really hard for a lot of you. But you know what? It's hard, but you got to do it. And this is me telling you guys that you can do this and that each and every one of you can get past this. A lot of us on this has done that, has got through it, and you can. You who are still at the beginning or still just facing this at the moment, it's going to be fine. Remember, it's about vitality, creation, and energy. That's what you're going to, that's the new motto for next year. Vitality, energy, and creation. You create your life, you bring that energy in, and it's about vitality. It's about bringing life back to you. This is it. Narc free 2023. So guys, what are you guys doing for New Year's? I don't even know what I'm doing for New Year's, but we shall see. We shall see what is happening. Is anyone partying the night away? Be aware of. And this is what I mean, Jimmy, about you are so strong before, you can be strong again. Acceptance is necessary. Yes. So look, New Year's is literally around the corner. Lots of food. I don't know what you mean. Lots of food. So, sorry, do you know what, guys? Sorry, I go silent because I'm just, I'm reading the comments and they keep going so fast and I can't catch them. Yes, so look, New Year's is just around the corner. What resolution are you going to make that is going to empower you, that is going to help you to elevate your life and bring you closer to your dreams, to living your dream life? Each and every one of you has got the possibility and the ability to do that. No one has not, and no one is any better than anyone else. Like, you literally can have anything that you want. It is possible. It is so possible. So I wish you all an amazing, happy new year. I hope that you all are going to feel happy, safe, and have the best new year, whatever you are doing. And I will see you guys on the 3rd, which is next Tuesday, the 3rd of January. I don't know about you guys, but I can't even believe it is January. Like, where has the year gone? I think this year has just like zoomed past, you know? I don't know. So Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you have a great one, and I will see you all next Tuesday. Thank you so much for the love, all of you. Like, seriously, all of you that have been on the community, on the chat today. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here and, you know, taking the time out of your day to be here. And 2023, narc free. Wishing you all the best, and I'll see you all next week.